Hello, everybody. It's Autoclave Beats, the winner of the Afrobanger competition. Shout out to OY and Afrobeat producers for all they do for us in the community. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down the winning beats, which I titled Yawa. Just so you know, I have everything I have on the mix bus bypassed so that it's not crackling and we can have a good smooth listening experience. So let's go. I'll just play a little bit of it and then we'll talk about it. Okay, shout out to OY for the Afrobanger pack. It's super dope, very, very, very inspiring. I'm sure by now you've seen the reviews and checked it out. If you haven't, please, please, please do yourself a favor and at least get the free version of it and see what's inside. You get so much with the full version. So let me show you the sounds that inspired the beats that I got from the pack. The sound. By the way, I have all my drums in green, all the basses in yellow, everything else in purple. Just the colors I like to use when I'm color coding my sessions. So this sound. So that's straight from the pack without any alterations besides using CLA guitar on it. And then I think I have CLA guitar on the chopped version. So this was the main driving force that inspired the whole production and everything I did. Now this same sound you see that came from the pack is what I altered. Let me go to what you hear in the intro and in the trap section. Now, to be able to do that, you could just chop it up with a scissors or a cut tool in almost any DAW. But I used Serato sample, which is what you're seeing here, to do the chopping. So that's how I was able to get the cuts. Then let me loop this section. The second sound that came from the pack was that I have kickstart on it. It's essentially what's this thing called again? You can achieve the same results with a sidechain compressor. I just happen to like using kickstart. And then this is also another loop, percussion loop. So this one, and then this other one. So this was what I got straight up for the pack. As beautiful as you hear it, with just a few alterations. I don't think I did much to the sounds, very little, to create space for the kick, drum, and bass. I think I did the same thing here. Okay, and that's it for the sound. So I proceeded from here, did the chop for the trap point. So I have kick, just a regular kick. Changes pattern when it gets to the trap section. And let you hear this. Then I have a trap snare. In the chorus, it doesn't play like a super key roll like the rims. That's all it's doing. But when it gets to the verse, it becomes the main thing. Okay, then You have rim shots. Not sure. Let me see. Okay, this looks like it's from Splice. The other one looks like it's from. Not sure where that is from. Looks like it might be from Splice too. Okay, so that's it for the key drums. In the verses, I did alterations, like especially for the beginning of the trap part, so that those hits are more emphasized. Then I have a more aggressive setting for the kickstarts, for the second percussion, and then there's I'm using this is stock plugin that comes with Studio One that I'm using for the panning. Yes, so that's what I did in the verses. The other thing that I forgot to mention that came from the pack is this roll. Now I chopped off the end. Both parts are actually from the same sound. I just put this one on different tracks so I can do some alterations to it. So it does. So the delay and the reverb you hear on it, Valhalla H delay. That's what we have on there. These other sounds are just things I like to use a lot of times on my beats. Okay, so for the bass that plays in the choruses, it's a free plugin from amke Multimedia. Fantastic plugin. You want to try and get that one before it stops being free. Hopefully it stays free forever. So obviously they have a paid version, but this one is amazing. Okay, then I used an 808 for on the mixing side. Did that curve. I'm moving quickly so I don't make the video so long. Sorry. Had to use R bass so that the bass in the chorus matches the energy you get with an 808, because 808s are usually more bass heavy. In fact, on the 808, I'm actually taking out a little bit of bass to make sure it's not too overwhelming. Okay, so back to what I was doing. The MV2. Vitamin. I use Vitamin quite a bit, especially more recently. This compressor, which is from Softtube, is similar to the LA2A. They have this limiter. You notice that some of the notes jump out, so this helps me keep it in check. Like you saw those notes jumping out. So that's what the limiter is doing there. I didn't do anything with this one, so I can't remember why it's there. Okay, so the 808, nothing much on it. Like I showed you, just a boost around 500, 600. Lots of Vitamin on it to get it to pop on small speakers. So. And then it's just a sample. It's from, I think it's some cymatics. It's not a plugin, it's just a sample. Then the third bass, which is like what Drake used to really use back in the days, a Reese bass. I think that's what it's called. I love that sound. Also from cymatics, and it's free. Okay, for the keys, I have three sounds. This is a Wally. Then there's a synth. Yes, and by the way, I played those in with a keyboard. I didn't paste in the notes. Okay, then there's a brass. The brass only plays in the chorus. All of those are coming from this plugin. It's Pure Saints Platinum 2 from Gospel Musicians. Fantastic plugin. Okay, didn't do much on any of those. Okay, seems because I had to flatten this out or transform to audio so that the load on the CPU will be less. I'm sure I had some basic EQs and stuff on it, nothing too fancy. So I have everything here coming into different buses. For the kick, I just brought it in so that I can convert it to mono, from stereo to mono. The snare, I have in essence axe on it. Very little EQing. All the percussions has some vitamin to just poke out the top. A lot of EQ. And then a DSR. Okay, all the drums coming through has the ozone exciter on it, and then I'm using the analog this thing to just brighten it up. It's very subtle, unlike the other modes, and that's why I picked it for that purpose. All the bass, all three basses here are flowing into this bus. I also have an exciter to pop up this part of the frequency. I have NLS on it, and then I'm using track spacer to do what you could also achieve with a compressor doing side chaining. So I have the kick side chaining into this. Let me show you. So you have the kick doing that. Another way you could do this would be with say wave C6 or F6 or any multi-band compressor that lets you use the sidechain function, at least in Studio One. Other DAWs have a different way they run it. So all the keys, everything in purple, with a sample from the dope Afrobanger pack, comes into keys. This plugin is free. If you're watching this in December, try and get it. It wasn't free when I got it, but it's free right now. So I have that on all those keys with that setting. EQ not doing anything. Since I did something and changed my mind, I didn't need it. Okay, I have same thing, track spacer. This is with the bass feeding into it. Then I have another one with that is the snare feeding into it. Just to duck it down a little so that those instruments have priority over everything else that is in purple. Okay, so moving over to the master bus. Things might get a bit louder, so just so you know. I'm using a VU meter. I usually use this to do my gain staging. Most times I use minus 18. Paid for plugin, but there are plenty of free VUs you can use. I think Waves even has one. Golfos was the last thing I put. It's very CPU. Oh, it's showing not authorized. I had to switch off my internet to be able to do this. The latest Studio Rack lets you use third-party plugins, so I have a preset that I usually start up with. I don't always use everything here. A lot of times I'm not using this. I don't use compressors a lot, but for this, I so happen to use all of them. So this is Lindell Audio's 80 bus. It's like the NLS channel, but with a Neve flavor. I liked it, so that's what I used. I have Vitamin again, doing some top end boosts. Doing a little EQing. The API compressor is just this is a typical setting I would use most times on the bus, but I don't always use a compressor. Then there's the imager. Then this is a T-Rax plugin, fantastic clipper plugin. You want to check it out. It's usually free. It's been free on and off throughout the year, so Go check it out or subscribe to their list so that whenever it's free again, you can get it. It's and then this is another clipper from Cars Rock K Clip 3, and then I have a limiter at the end. That's all I had on the master bus. I have Ulin that I'm using to check my loudness. That's how loud I had my beats. Then I use tonal balance a lot too. Now, if you notice, I have mine on Afrobeats. It's a custom curve I created using certain references that I love the sound of that are Afrobeat songs. I have one for Amapiano, but if you just have the plugin and you haven't created a custom curve, which you can easily do, there are tutorials on it, you can use bass heavy. That works, seems to fit in best if you don't have the curve. Then I have metric AB that I'm using to reference to be sure that mine sounds just as good as a professionally well mixed song out there. And that's it. That's everything I did on the beat. I hope you're able to learn something or pick something from it. Please don't hesitate to ask any questions. Drop it in the comments and I'll do my best to answer it. Until next time, have a wonderful, wonderful day.